The 1960s were a period of experimentation in the American auto industry, with automakers looking to push boundaries with new designs, engineering, and marketing approaches. While the decade produced some of the most iconic cars ever made, it also spawned plenty of models that missed the mark, some of them infamous. Here are 13 of the worst and dumbest American cars of the 1960s that will surprise you.
Dear viewer, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support.
Number 13. The 1965 Ford Falcon Ranchero was a unique attempt to merge the practicality of a pickup truck with the comfort and handling of a car. While this car-truck hybrid concept appealed to a niche market, it ultimately fell short in both categories, making it an awkward compromise rather than a success in either role. As a pickup truck, the Ranchero's bed was too small to be useful for many of the tasks associated with a truck. It lacked the hauling capacity of larger trucks, which meant it wasn't ideal for anyone needing serious cargo space. The attempt to merge a car with a truck led to a vehicle that didn't excel in either category. The Ranchero was neither as stylish or comfortable as a car, nor as practical or rugged as a truck. This left it in an awkward middle ground. The base model of the 1965 Falcon Ranchero came with a weak, underpowered six-cylinder engine, offering lackluster acceleration and performance. It struggled with heavy loads and was slow compared to other vehicles on the road. Even with the optional V8 engine, the Ranchero lacked the muscle needed for serious truck duties, limiting its appeal to buyers looking for both power and utility. While the Ranchero handled more like a car than a truck, this was a double-edged sword. For those looking for a truck's ruggedness, it felt too soft and fragile. Its suspension wasn't well suited for carrying heavy loads, and the car-based platform limited its off-road and work capabilities. Though it drove like a car, the interior was more Spartan, lacking the comfort expected from a sedan. This combination resulted in a vehicle that wasn't comfortable for long trips or heavy-duty use. The Ranchero's small cargo space and inability to haul heavy loads made it impractical for those who needed a real truck. On the flip side, its truck-like appearance made it less attractive to car buyers who preferred more stylish or comfortable vehicles. For consumers seeking utility, the Ranchero didn't deliver the toughness required for jobs like towing or serious off-roading. The vehicle simply wasn't built for heavy-duty tasks. The 1965 Ford Falcon Ranchero's design wasn't as bold or exciting as other vehicles of the time. Its car-like front end and truck bed looked mismatched, and the overall look was considered bland by consumers who wanted more striking designs. Unlike other models of the 1960s that offered a range of engine options or customizable features, the Ranchero's limited options reduced its appeal to both car and truck enthusiasts. Competitors like the Chevrolet El Camino offered similar car-truck hybrids with more power and better performance. Additionally, full-size trucks of the era offered far more utility, while cars in Ford's own lineup provided better comfort and styling, leaving the Ranchero in an awkward position. It attempted to provide a car-like driving experience with some truck-like utility. Weak engine options, small cargo space, and a confused identity left it unable to serve as either a good car or a functional truck. It also suffered from uninspired styling and limited market appeal. The 1965 Ford Falcon Ranchero struggled to make a strong impression as a hybrid vehicle. Its lack of power, limited utility, and awkward design failed to satisfy both car buyers and truck enthusiasts. It remains an example of a vehicle concept that couldn't fully deliver on its intended promise. Number 12. The 1967 Plymouth Barracuda base model was part of the second generation of Barracudas, a car that would eventually become a respected muscle car icon. However, the base model in 1967 fell short of delivering on the performance and muscle car image that its name later became associated with. While it shared the body style of the more powerful versions, the base Barracuda was underwhelming in key areas such as performance, power, and appeal. The base model Barracuda came equipped with a 225 cubic inch slant 6 engine, which produced only about 145 horsepower. This engine was designed for economy rather than performance, and it made the car feel sluggish compared to the V8 powered muscle cars dominating the market at the time. While the Barracuda name would eventually become synonymous with high-performance muscle cars, the 1967 base model didn't live up to that image. It wasn't nearly powerful enough to compete with other muscle cars like the Chevrolet Camaro, Ford Mustang, or even the more powerful Barracuda variants, leaving it feeling more like an economy car than a performance vehicle. The weak engine made acceleration slow and uninspiring. For a car that was trying to project a sporty, performance-oriented image, the base Barracuda's lack of power made it feel underwhelming and disappointing for anyone expecting a muscle car experience. The base model was designed more for comfort than for spirited driving. Its suspension setup and steering felt soft and unresponsive, which further limited its appeal to buyers looking for a thrilling ride. While the 1967 Barracuda's overall styling was a significant improvement over the first generation, the base model lacked the aggressive visual cues that defined other muscle cars of the time. It didn't come with the bold racing stripes, sportier hood scoops, or other design elements that made performance-oriented versions of the Barracuda stand out. The base model's plain design was overshadowed by competitors that had more visually exciting features. While the Barracuda's fastback body style was unique, the base version didn't differentiate itself enough to attract buyers seeking a car that looked as powerful as it felt. The base Barracuda was positioned awkwardly in the market. It was marketed as a sporty car, yet the base model lacked the power to match that image. Buyers looking for a true muscle car experience were disappointed by its economy-focused engine, while those seeking a basic car had less expensive and more practical options available from other brands. The higher performance versions of the Barracuda, particularly those with V8 engines, were far more exciting and capable. The base model was left overshadowed by its more powerful siblings, leaving little reason for buyers to choose the base version over the more robust options available. In 1967, the muscle car wars were in full swing, and cars like the Chevrolet Camaro, Ford Mustang, and Pontiac Firebird were delivering powerful V8 engines and thrilling driving experiences. The base Barracuda, with its underpowered slant six, couldn't compete with these rivals in terms of performance or appeal. Compared to the Mustang and Camaro, which had already established themselves as iconic muscle cars, the base Barracuda lacked any standout feature that could give it an edge in the market. It was neither the fastest, the most stylish, nor the most practical option available, making it hard for buyers to see it as a top choice. The base model came with a simple and utilitarian interior that didn't offer much in terms of luxury or comfort. While this helped keep costs down, it made the car feel less special, especially in a market where muscle cars were starting to offer more in terms of style and features. The base Barracuda didn't come with many standard features, and buyers would have had to pay extra for upgrades like bucket seats or a sportier interior package, making the base model feel more like a compromise rather than an exciting choice. The 1967 Plymouth Barracuda base model failed to deliver on the muscle car promise that its name and design seemed to suggest. Its underpowered engine, lackluster styling, and uninspiring driving experience left it feeling out of place in a market that was increasingly focused on power and performance. While higher performance versions of the Barracuda would go on to become legendary muscle cars, the base model remained a forgettable option, unable to compete with the more exciting alternatives available at the time. Number 11. The 1961 Cadillac Series 62 was part of Cadillac's attempt to maintain its luxury status and grandeur, but it suffered from several design and performance flaws that made it less desirable, especially as consumer preferences began to shift toward more modern and agile vehicles. By this time, the Series 62 was beginning to show signs of being an outdated model, with some stylistic and performance shortcomings that left it feeling behind the curve compared to its competitors. The 1961 Cadillac Series 62 was enormous, even by the standards of the early 1960s. This made it difficult to maneuver and park, especially in increasingly crowded urban areas. The car's massive proportions made it feel unwieldy, particularly compared to the smaller, more agile cars that were gaining popularity at the time. The Series 62 was excessively heavy, weighing around 4,600 pounds or more, depending on the model. This not only affected its performance, but also reduced its fuel efficiency, making it less practical for everyday driving. The car's weight contributed to poor handling and sluggish acceleration, which became a problem as cars from other manufacturers began focusing more on performance and driving dynamics. The 1961 model still featured Cadillac's trademark tail fins, although they had been toned down slightly from the exaggerated versions seen in the late 1950s. However, by 1961, the fin-heavy aesthetic had begun to feel dated and out of touch with the more restrained, modern designs that were becoming popular. Other luxury brands were moving toward cleaner, sleeker lines, leaving the Series 62 looking like a relic of the past. Cadillac's styling in this era was still rooted in the more is better philosophy, with large amounts of chrome, sweeping lines, and heavy embellishments. While this may have been appealing to certain buyers, it felt increasingly out of step with the evolving tastes of the 1960s, where sleeker, more minimalist designs were gaining favor. Due to its massive size and weight, the Series 62 handled poorly, especially when compared to smaller, nimbler vehicles. Its long wheelbase and bulky body made it difficult to take sharp turns or maneuver quickly, leaving it with a floaty, disconnected driving experience. The car's suspension was tuned for comfort, but it resulted in a soft, floaty ride that wasn't well suited for dynamic driving. The lack of road feel and the excessive body roll made the car feel cumbersome on curvy roads or during fast maneuvers. As consumer interest began to shift towards smaller, more agile cars, the Series 62's sluggish performance and slow responses became more noticeable. It was no longer enough for luxury cars to be large and comfortable. Buyers also wanted them to perform well, and the Series 62 failed to deliver in that regard. While the 390 cubic inch V8 engine produced 325 horsepower, it wasn't enough to offset the car's massive weight and bulk. The engine provided adequate acceleration, but didn't deliver the thrilling performance that many buyers expected from a luxury car in this era. Given its weight, the Series 62 had underwhelming acceleration, and it felt slow compared to more modern, performance-oriented cars. Even though it was equipped with a V8, the engine had to work hard to move such a large vehicle, leading to a lethargic driving experience. Due to its size and weight, the Series 62 had terrible fuel economy, especially when compared to lighter and more efficient vehicles. At a time when consumers were starting to become more conscious of fuel costs, the Series 62's excessive consumption made it less practical for everyday use. By 1961, other luxury brands such as Lincoln and Imperial were moving toward more modern and sleek designs that felt less excessive than Cadillac's. Even European luxury cars like Mercedes-Benz offered smaller, more dynamic vehicles that appealed to buyers looking for both luxury and performance. The Series 62's emphasis on size, bulk, and flashiness made it feel outdated in a market that was shifting toward more restrained, modern aesthetics. Cadillac's competitors were embracing more sophisticated designs, leaving the Series 62 looking like an overgrown dinosaur. While the Series 62 was spacious and luxurious, it lacked some of the cutting-edge technology and innovations that other luxury cars were beginning to offer. Its large size did provide plenty of interior room, but that wasn't enough to keep it competitive in a market where innovation and performance were increasingly valued. The interior of the Series 62 was plush but overly adorned, continuing the exterior's theme of more is better. While luxurious, the interior lacked the modern design sophistication that was starting to emerge in other luxury brands, making it feel heavy and outdated. The 1961 Cadillac Series 62 represented the tail end of an era where size and flash were synonymous with luxury. Number 10. The 1969 Buick Electra. 225 was Buick's flagship full-size luxury sedan, designed to compete with other luxury cars of the time, such as the Cadillac DeVille and Lincoln Continental. However, the base model of the Electra 225 had numerous flaws that made it underwhelming, especially in an era when buyers were beginning to expect more performance and refinement from their luxury vehicles. The Buick Electra 225 was known for its length, measuring over 225 inches long, hence the 225 in its name. While its size was supposed to evoke a sense of grandeur, it often came across as unwieldy and impractical. The car's enormous proportions made it difficult to maneuver, especially in urban environments or tight spaces. Weighing over 4,500 pounds, the base model Electra 225 was extremely heavy. The car's weight contributed to its sluggish performance and poor handling, making it feel less responsive and less enjoyable to drive compared to other luxury cars of the time. Its bulk also made parking and navigating in city traffic a chore. Despite being equipped with a 430 cubic inch V8 engine producing 360 horsepower, the base Electra 225's performance was still underwhelming. The engine had to work hard to move the car's massive bulk, which resulted in slow acceleration and a lackluster driving experience. While it could cruise comfortably at high speeds, it was not quick off the line, and its power delivery felt lazy. The Electra 225 was more of a floaty, comfortable cruiser than a performance-oriented luxury car. Its soft suspension, designed for comfort, contributed to a disconnected and uninspiring driving experience. Enthusiasts who expected more engaging driving dynamics were disappointed by its sluggish responses and lack of agility on the road. The Electra 225 was tuned for a soft ride, which resulted in significant body roll and a lack of road feel. While the car was comfortable on smooth highways, it was ill-suited for more demanding driving situations, such as winding roads or aggressive cornering. The car's soft suspension made it feel floaty, and the steering was vague, offering little feedback to the driver. Due to its size and weight, the Electra 225's steering was slow and lacked precision. This made the car feel unresponsive and cumbersome when navigating tight turns or parking, further detracting from the overall driving experience. By 1969, Buick's design language was starting to look dated. The Electra 225 featured boxy, conservative styling with few exciting design elements. While it was meant to appeal to traditional luxury buyers, it lacked the modern flair and sophistication that other competitors like Cadillac and Lincoln were offering. The car's massive size and long slab-sided bodywork didn't help its appearance, making it look excessively large and somewhat outdated. Like many cars of the era, the Electra 225 was adorned with an abundance of chrome trim. While this was intended to give the car a premium look, it often came across as gaudy and overdone. This excessive ornamentation only contributed to the car's bulky and outdated image. While the Electra 225 was spacious, the base model's interior didn't live up to the standards of a true luxury car. The materials used in the cabin were often cheaper than those found in competitors' vehicles, giving the car a more utilitarian feel. The interior design lacked the innovation and elegance that buyers expected from a high-end vehicle, making it feel like a step down compared to other luxury options of the time. For a luxury car, the Electra 225 did not offer many advanced features or options in its base trim. While some higher-end models offered power windows, air conditioning, and advanced sound systems, the base model was more bare bones, leaving it feeling underwhelming for the price. In 1969, buyers looking for full-size luxury cars had several better options. Competitors like the Cadillac DeVille and Lincoln Continental offered more modern designs, better performance, and more refined interiors. Even within the GM family, Cadillac's models were seen as more desirable than the Electra 225, which lacked the prestige and advanced features of its competitors. While other luxury car manufacturers were starting to introduce more advanced technology and performance-oriented models, the Electra 225 felt like it was stuck in the past. Its conservative approach to design and performance didn't appeal to younger, more forward-thinking buyers who were looking for something new and exciting. The 1969 Buick Electra 225 base model embodied the traditional American luxury car philosophy of size, comfort, and chrome excess. However, by the late 1960s, these characteristics were starting to feel out of touch with changing consumer preferences. The car's massive size and poor performance made it a cumbersome and uninspiring luxury vehicle, especially when compared to more modern and refined competitors. Number 9. The 1960 Studebaker Lark was introduced as a compact car aimed at appealing to buyers seeking a more economical vehicle during a time when larger, more flamboyant cars were dominating the American market. While the Lark succeeded in keeping Studebaker afloat for a few more years, It was far from a groundbreaking vehicle, and it suffered from a number of issues that kept it from being a true success. In the 1960s, American car buyers were still heavily drawn to large, powerful cars with flashy designs. The Studebaker Lark was introduced as a compact car, but its conservative, boxy styling didn't stand out in an era known for chrome, fins, and extravagant designs. The Lark's plain, simple appearance made it look dowdy and unexciting, especially when compared to the flamboyant cars that were dominating the market at the time. The Lark was designed to be practical and affordable, but this focus on economy meant that it lacked the sense of luxury and style that many car buyers were looking for. While its small size made it easier to maneuver in urban environments, it didn't appeal to drivers who wanted a sense of prestige or excitement from their vehicle. The 1960 Studebaker Lark came with a variety of engine options, but the base models were underpowered, especially compared to larger, more powerful cars of the era. The base 170 cubic inch inline-six engine produced around 90 horsepower, which was inadequate for a vehicle trying to compete in the American market, where horsepower was a major selling point. With its small engine, the Lark struggled to keep up with traffic on highways, and it lacked the acceleration needed to make it fun or engaging to drive. While its size and weight were intended to make it more economical, the lack of power left the Lark feeling slow and underwhelming, especially when compared to the high-performance vehicles that were becoming popular during the muscle car era. The design of the Studebaker Lark was uninspired and plain. It featured a boxy, utilitarian shape that was practical, but lacked the kind of visual appeal that could make a car exciting. In a decade of flashy, bold designs, the Lark's plain styling made it fade into the background. Buyers looking for a stylish, fashionable car were unlikely to be drawn to its conservative look. While other manufacturers were experimenting with more daring designs, the Lark stuck to a safe, conventional style that didn't capture the imagination of the car-buying public. Its utilitarian design was functional, but lacked the kind of innovation that could have made it a standout. The interior of the Lark was functional but Spartan, while it offered decent space for passengers given its compact size. The materials used were basic and cheap, reflecting its economy focus. The car didn't have the kind of advanced features or high-quality finishes that buyers in the market for a compact car might have expected from competitors like the Ford Falcon or Chevrolet Corvair. The Lark suffered from various mechanical and reliability problems, which only worsened its reputation as a budget car. While it was inexpensive, its tendency toward mechanical issues made it less appealing over time, as buyers sought more reliable options. The Lark was marketed as an affordable, practical car, but its small size limited its appeal in the American market, where consumers still preferred larger, more powerful vehicles. While it found some success with urban drivers and those looking for fuel efficiency, it didn't resonate with the broader car-buying public, and its sales were overshadowed by more popular models from Ford, Chevrolet, and other manufacturers. The Ford Falcon and Chevrolet Corvair, introduced around the same time, were direct competitors to the Lark and outperformed it in terms of both sales and popularity. These rivals offered more modern designs, better performance, and a stronger brand reputation, leaving the Lark lagging behind. Studebaker's declining reputation as an automaker didn't help the situation, as the brand struggled to compete with larger, more financially stable companies. The 1960 Studebaker Lark was an attempt by Studebaker to survive in a rapidly changing automotive landscape, but it ultimately failed to excite buyers or carve out a significant market niche. Its small size, underwhelming engine options, and uninspired styling left it overshadowed by more capable competitors, and it struggled to compete in an era dominated by bigger, more powerful cars. While it served as a stopgap to keep Studebaker afloat for a few more years, it did little to revitalize the struggling brand or leave a lasting mark on the automotive industry. Number 8. The 1964 Mercury Montclair was intended to be a luxury car in the mid-size category, offering a mix of comfort, style, and performance. However, despite Mercury's efforts, the Montclair didn't quite hit the mark in several areas, leading to its underwhelming reception in a competitive market. The 1964 Mercury Montclair was large and heavy, which contributed to its sluggish performance. Despite being marketed as a luxury vehicle, its size made it difficult to handle, especially in an era when more agile cars were gaining popularity. The car's bulk resulted in poor acceleration and handling, making it less enjoyable to drive compared to sportier, more nimble vehicles in the same class. While the Montclair was equipped with a V8 engine, its weight and lack of refined engineering meant that it didn't deliver the kind of performance buyers expected from a premium car. Its acceleration was slow, and it struggled to match the power and excitement offered by other cars in its price range, especially in the burgeoning muscle car market. Even though the Montclair came with a range of V8 engines, the base models were not powerful enough to compensate for the car's heavy frame. The car's performance was mediocre at best, which disappointed buyers who were seeking both luxury and a more engaging driving experience. The Montclair's soft suspension, while aimed at providing a comfortable ride, resulted in sloppy handling. The car felt disconnected from the road, making it less responsive and harder to control in sharp turns or at higher speeds. This compromised the driving experience, especially when compared to lighter, more performance-oriented cars of the time. Mercury attempted to give the Montclair a luxury appeal, but the styling was conservative and lacked the boldness needed to stand out. The car's design was somewhat bland and forgettable, especially in comparison to the more daring and stylish vehicles from competitors like Chevrolet, Ford, and Pontiac. It didn't have the kind of iconic look that could turn heads or leave a lasting impression. By 1964, the automotive market was shifting toward more modern, sleek designs, and the Montclair's styling felt outdated. Its heavy, boxy proportions didn't keep up with the more streamlined and aerodynamic shapes that were becoming popular in the mid-1960s. Despite Mercury's attempt to position the Montclair as a luxury car, it didn't offer the level of refinement expected from premium vehicles. The interior materials were average, and the design wasn't as upscale as what buyers could find in true luxury brands like Cadillac or Lincoln. This left the Montclair in an awkward position, being neither a true luxury car nor a high-performance vehicle. The Montclair faced stiff competition from other mid-size and full-size luxury vehicles that offered more features, better performance, and more eye-catching designs. Cars like the Pontiac Bonneville, Chevrolet Impala, and Ford Galaxy were more popular choices, offering similar or better luxury at a comparable price point with better styling and performance, roomy interior, comfortable ride for long-distance cruising, sluggish performance, bland styling, lack of true luxury refinement, and poor handling. The 1964 Mercury Montclair was a missed opportunity for Mercury. While it tried to offer luxury in a mid-size package, it was ultimately too big, slow, and uninspired to capture the imagination of buyers. Its performance couldn't match the power expected from premium cars, and its styling didn't offer anything memorable or exciting. This made it one of the more forgettable cars of its era, unable to stand out in a crowded and competitive market. Number 7. The 1963 Rambler Ambassador 880 was positioned as a mid-level offering within the Ambassador lineup by American Motors Corporation, AMC. AMC aimed to provide a reliable and economical family car with the 880, but the model failed to capture the attention of buyers due to a combination of uninspired design, underwhelming performance, and lackluster handling. The Ambassador 880's design was conservative and boxy, with flat surfaces and angular lines that lacked the flair or elegance seen in many of its competitors. The styling was viewed as old-fashioned by 1963, a time when more modern and streamlined designs were gaining traction. The overall look was bland and utilitarian, offering little in terms of visual appeal. While competitors were moving towards sleeker, more sophisticated designs, AMC stuck to a formula that had been popular in previous years but was now falling out of fashion. The Ambassador 880's look didn't evolve with the times, making it feel dated even as it was released. The 1963 Ambassador 880 came with a selection of V8 engines, but even the more powerful options struggled to provide exciting performance. The base models were particularly underpowered, offering less horsepower than comparable cars from Ford, Chevrolet, and Chrysler. This lack of power made the car feel sluggish, especially when compared to the high-performance models that were becoming more popular in the early 2000s. The 1960s. The Ambassador 880's acceleration left much to be desired, especially for buyers seeking more excitement or a car that could handle highway driving with ease. The car's engine lineup simply couldn't compete with the more robust V8s offered by other automakers, making it feel underwhelming on the road. One of the Ambassador 880's key weaknesses was its handling. The car's suspension was tuned for comfort, but this came at the cost of responsiveness. The ride felt disconnected from the road, and the car didn't handle well in turns or at higher speeds. This made driving the Ambassador 880 less engaging, especially compared to more performance-oriented models from the big three automakers. The steering was loose and imprecise, contributing to the car's reputation for poor handling. Drivers reported that the car felt floaty and difficult to control, especially during sudden maneuvers or winding roads. This added to the car's overall sense of being outdated and lacking in modern engineering. The 1963 Rambler Ambassador 880 was up against a crowded field of family sedans from much larger manufacturers, including the Ford Galaxy, Chevrolet Impala, and Plymouth Fury. These cars offered better styling, performance, and handling, making the Ambassador 880 seem like a lesser option. AMC, being a smaller company, couldn't match the resources and engineering advancements of the larger automakers, which left the Ambassador 880 feeling like a budget alternative. While the Ambassador 880 was marketed as a solid, reliable family car, it didn't offer the excitement or innovation that buyers were looking for in the early 1960s. This was a time when cars were becoming more powerful and stylish, and the Ambassador 880 simply didn't keep up with these trends. The interior of the Ambassador 880 was basic, with few luxury features or design elements to set it apart. While it was functional, it didn't offer the comfort or modern amenities that many buyers were starting to expect from mid-range sedans. This made the car feel like a budget option, even if it was priced competitively. The 1963 Ambassador 880 lacked any major innovations or technological advancements that could make it stand out from the competition. Without unique selling points or groundbreaking features, it was easily overshadowed by more exciting offerings from larger automakers. Functional as a family car, relatively economical for its class. Boxy and outdated design, underpowered engines, poor handling, and lack of excitement in both performance and styling. The 1963 Rambler Ambassador 880 failed to stand out in an increasingly competitive market. Its conservative, boxy design didn't capture the imagination of buyers, while its underpowered engine options and poor handling left it feeling outdated and uncompetitive. In a decade when cars were becoming more stylish, powerful, and exciting to drive, the Ambassador 880 remained stuck in the past, making it one of the less memorable models of its time. Number 6, the 1962 Pontiac Tempest LeMans was introduced as a sportier, more upscale version of the compact Tempest, which was part of General Motors' attempt to create economical, lightweight cars in response to changing market demands. However, while the car featured some innovative engineering, it ultimately failed to translate these quirks into mainstream success. The Tempest LeMans faced a number of mechanical issues that undermined its appeal, and its unconventional design choices didn't resonate well with buyers. One of the defining features of the 1962 Pontiac Tempest was its rear-mounted transaxle. The idea behind this unusual setup was to improve weight distribution and handling by placing the transmission at the rear of the car. However, this innovative design created a number of issues. The rear transaxle, connected to the engine by a long, flexible drive shaft, nicknamed the rope drive, was prone to mechanical problems and frequent failures. Drivers often complained about noise, vibrations, and inconsistent shifting, all of which detracted from the car's drivability. The unconventional layout made the Tempest LeMans difficult to service and repair, particularly for mechanics unfamiliar with the setup. Replacing parts or fixing issues with the drive shaft or transaxle was more complicated than with a traditional front-mounted transmission, leading to higher repair costs and more time in the shop. Despite its innovative transaxle, the Tempest LeMans wasn't a high-performance vehicle. The base engine was a four-cylinder derived from Pontiac's V8, which was essentially a 389 cubic inch V8 cut in half to create a 195 cubic inch, 110 horsepower engine. This engine was unrefined, rough, and suffered from balance issues, leading to vibrations and a lack of smooth acceleration. Even with its sportier LeMans badge, the Tempest struggled to deliver excitement in terms of speed. The compact car had an available 326 cubic inch V8 in later models, but it wasn't enough to make the Tempest LeMans a serious contender in the performance market. The unusual engineering choices didn't help in this regard, as the car still lagged behind competitors like the Ford Falcon and Chevrolet Corvair when it came to handling and speed. While the rear-mounted transaxle was intended to improve weight distribution and handling, in practice it didn't deliver the desired effect. The car's handling felt unbalanced, especially when compared to more traditional setups. The flexible drive shaft also contributed to imprecise handling, as it was prone to twisting and bending during operation, which affected the car's responsiveness. The car's suspension setup wasn't optimized to handle the quirks of the transaxle system, leading to a less than comfortable ride. While the car was designed to offer a smooth and balanced ride, the reality was a bumpy, jittery driving experience that made it difficult to enjoy long trips or highway cruising. The Tempest LeMans featured a number of design quirks, such as its compact-sized transaxle system and half V8 engine. These elements were bold and forward-thinking, but they didn't translate into mainstream appeal. Buyers were often wary of the car's unusual mechanical setup and its reputation for reliability issues. The car's quirky design made it hard to market as a mainstream vehicle, limiting its appeal to a niche audience rather than the broader public. While the LeMans was intended to be a sportier, more upscale version of the Tempest, its styling wasn't groundbreaking. It lacked the bold, eye-catching designs of some of its competitors in the early 1960s, such as the Ford Mustang or Chevrolet Camaro. As a result, it didn't stand out in showrooms or on the road, limiting its desirability. The Tempest LeMans was plagued by a range of mechanical issues, from its drive shaft and transaxle to its unbalanced engine. These problems, combined with difficult maintenance, led to frequent breakdowns and left many owners frustrated. The car's reputation for mechanical unreliability hurt its sales and limited its popularity, even among die-hard Pontiac fans. Due to the complex and unconventional nature of the car's design, repair costs were often higher than for other compact cars on the market. The transaxle system in particular was costly to repair, and many mechanics lacked the expertise to service the car properly. This made the Tempest LeMans a risky choice for buyers who wanted a dependable and affordable compact car. The 1962 Pontiac Tempest LeMans was a bold attempt by Pontiac to introduce innovative engineering into the compact car market, but its unconventional design and mechanical flaws ultimately hurt its reputation. Despite its sporty aspirations, the Tempest LeMans was plagued by reliability issues, awkward handling, and lackluster performance. Number 5. The 1965 Oldsmobile Jetstar 88 was intended to be a more affordable, entry-level model within Oldsmobile's lineup, but it ultimately fell short of expectations in several key areas. While it aimed to appeal to budget-conscious buyers looking for a full-size car, it lacked the flair and performance that Oldsmobile enthusiasts were accustomed to. The Jetstar 88 was designed as a more economical alternative to Oldsmobile's higher-end models, resulting in a bland, unremarkable aesthetic. Its styling was conservative and did not stand out among competitors in the full-size segment. The lack of distinctive features made it easily forgettable, especially during an era when bold design was celebrated. To keep costs down, the Jetstar 88 used lower-quality materials in its interior. The result was a cabin that felt cheap and uninspired, lacking the luxurious feel of other Oldsmobile models. While the car was marketed as a full-size vehicle, the interior left much to be desired in terms of comfort and style. The Jetstar 88 came equipped with a 330 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 320 horsepower. While this was adequate for everyday driving, it paled in comparison to the performance offered by the more powerful Oldsmobile models. Buyers looking for excitement and muscle found the Jetstar lacking in both acceleration and responsiveness. Mediocre driving experience. The combination of a heavy chassis and an underpowered engine made for a sluggish driving experience. Many drivers reported that the Jetstar 88 felt lethargic, especially when merging onto highways or navigating steep inclines. This lack of power contributed to an overall uninspiring ride. In a market filled with exciting full-size cars, the Jetstar 88 struggled to compete. It was often overshadowed by more popular models from brands like Chevrolet and Ford, which offered better performance and more appealing designs. As a result, the Jetstar 88 didn't capture the attention of buyers looking for a full-size car with personality. The marketing efforts surrounding the Jetstar 88 were lackluster and failed to create excitement about the model. Potential buyers were not drawn to the car's image or capabilities, leading to lower sales figures and limited brand loyalty among Oldsmobile customers. The Jetstar 88 was available in a few basic trim levels, with few options for customization or luxury features. Buyers looking for advanced technology or comfort features found the car lacking. This made the Jetstar less attractive to buyers who valued added amenities in their vehicles. The 1965 Jetstar 88 did not incorporate any groundbreaking technology or features that could have set it apart from the competition. In an era of increasing automotive innovation, the Jetstar felt stagnant and uninteresting. While some Oldsmobile fans appreciated the brand's history, the Jetstar 88 did not resonate with enthusiasts. The stripped-down nature of the car made it less appealing to collectors and performance enthusiasts, which ultimately hurt its legacy. The combination of its lackluster design, mediocre performance, and failure to compete with other models led to poor sales. The Jetstar 88 struggled to find a market niche and did not achieve the success Oldsmobile hoped for. Affordable entry into the full-size car market with spaciousness typical of the Oldsmobile brand. Stripped-down design, weak performance, lack of distinctive features, and poor sales reception. The 1965 Oldsmobile Jetstar 88 represents a misstep in Oldsmobile's attempt to create a budget-friendly full-size car. Its uninspired styling, mediocre performance, and limited features left it without a strong identity in a crowded marketplace. Ultimately, the Jetstar 88 failed to capture the imagination of buyers, making it one of the more forgettable models in Oldsmobile's history during the mid-1960s. Number 4. The 1967 Dodge Coronet 440 base model was part of Dodge's mid-size lineup during a vibrant era for muscle cars. While the Coronet name was associated with performance, the base model fell short of expectations, struggling to compete in a market dominated by excitement and power. The base model of the 1967 Coronet 440 was equipped with a 318 cubic inch V8 engine that produced just 230 horsepower. While this engine was reliable for everyday driving, it lacked the punch that many buyers were looking for during the muscle car craze. The Coronet's performance was more aligned with a family sedan than a true muscle car. The car's acceleration was sluggish, and it struggled to keep up with faster competitors like the Chevrolet Chevelle or the Ford Mustang. The Coronet 440's aggressive name and styling created an expectation for performance that simply wasn't met, leading to disappointment among enthusiasts. While the Coronet had a muscular presence, the base model's design was relatively tame compared to more exciting muscle cars of the time. The styling lacked the bold lines and aggressive stance that could have made it more visually appealing. The base model didn't stand out in a decade when many cars were known for their distinctive looks. The interior of the Coronet 440 was functional but plain. With a focus on economy, the materials and design choices didn't evoke the excitement that a muscle car should inspire. The lack of sporty touches made it feel more like a standard sedan than a performance vehicle. The suspension setup in the base model was geared more towards comfort than performance, resulting in a ride that felt soft and unresponsive during spirited driving. This compromised handling made the car less enjoyable on twisty roads, further distancing it from the muscle car experience. The Coronet's weight distribution, combined with its lack of power, resulted in less than ideal handling characteristics. When pushed, the car exhibited understeer, making it less engaging for drivers who valued performance and agility. While Dodge offered more powerful versions of the Coronet, such as the RT, the base model was overshadowed by these higher performance options. The distinction between the base model and its performance-oriented siblings made it difficult for the 440 to attract buyers who were seeking a true muscle car experience. The Coronet 440 base model failed to capture the attention of car enthusiasts looking for a vehicle that embodied the muscle car spirit. Its uninspired performance and conservative styling contributed to its lack of appeal among a demographic that favored speed and style. In an era where many manufacturers were introducing exciting, high-performance models, the Coronet 440 base model struggled to find its place. The combination of its lackluster performance and bland styling led to weaker sales compared to more exciting offerings from competitors. As the muscle car movement gained momentum, cars like the Coronet 440 found themselves increasingly out of favor. Buyers seeking excitement gravitated toward vehicles that delivered on the promise of performance, leaving the base model behind. Reliable everyday transportation, spacious interior, underpowered engine, bland styling, compromised handling, and failure to resonate with muscle car enthusiasts. The 1967 Dodge Coronet 440 base model serves as a reminder of how a name can create expectations that aren't met by the product. While Dodge aimed to capture the muscle car spirit, the base model ultimately fell short, lacking the performance and excitement that defined the era. As a result, it remains one of the less celebrated entries in the muscle car landscape of the 1960s. Number 3. The 1960 Mercury Monterey was part of Mercury's lineup aimed at the full-size car market during a time when larger vehicles were becoming increasingly popular. However, the Monterey struggled to meet expectations, suffering from a range of issues that hindered its appeal. The Monterey was one of the larger vehicles on the market, which contributed to its cumbersome feel. While some buyers appreciated the spaciousness, many found the excessive bulk unwieldy, making maneuvering in tight spaces challenging. The car's heavy body contributed to poor fuel efficiency and handling. Weighing down the performance, the weight made it feel sluggish, especially during acceleration. By 1960, automotive design was evolving rapidly. The Monterey's styling was seen as outdated, with heavy chrome accents and a lack of the more dynamic lines that characterized its competitors. This made the Monterey less appealing to buyers looking for something fresh and exciting. Compared to newer models from other manufacturers, the Monterey felt behind the times. Features that were becoming standard in the industry were often absent, leading to a perception that it was a relic of the past. The suspension system was designed for comfort, but it resulted in a floaty ride that compromised handling. The car felt unresponsive during turns and lacked the stability that drivers desired, particularly in a market leaning toward performance. While the Monterey offered a V8 engine, its performance was underwhelming for a car of its size. The engine struggled to move the heavy body effectively, leading to lackluster acceleration and overall performance. Despite its large size, the Monterey didn't offer the kind of driving experience that would make it enjoyable for long trips. The poor handling combined with the heavy body led to driver fatigue and discomfort over extended distances. While the interior was spacious, the materials used in the construction felt cheap and lacked the refinement expected in a luxury vehicle. This contributed to a sense of disappointment for buyers who had anticipated a higher quality experience. As the automotive market shifted towards more compact and performance-oriented vehicles, the Monterey's bulky design and outdated features left it struggling to find its place. Consumers began gravitating toward more agile options that offered both style and performance. The combination of these issues led to dwindling sales figures for the Monterey. As consumers opted for cars that better met their expectations, the Monterey's relevance in the marketplace diminished rapidly. Spacious interior, classic American luxury feel, excessively large and heavy, outdated design, poor handling and performance, uncomfortable driving experience. The 1960 Mercury Monterey serves as a case study in how a car can fall out of favor when it fails to adapt to changing consumer expectations. Its bulk and outdated design left it struggling to compete in a market that was rapidly evolving towards more performance-oriented and stylish vehicles. As a result, the Monterey is often remembered as one of the less successful entries in Mercury's lineup during that era. Number 2. The 1966 Buick Wildcat was part of Buick's lineup that aimed to capture the excitement of the muscle car era. Despite its intriguing name and the promise of performance, the base model fell short in several key areas. The base model Wildcat was equipped with an underpowered engine that failed to deliver the exhilarating performance typically associated with the Wildcat name. This made it sluggish compared to its competitors, which often featured more powerful engines that catered to performance enthusiasts. Drivers looking for a thrilling ride were often disappointed by the Wildcat's lack of acceleration. The combination of a heavy body and a weak engine left it struggling to compete with more potent rivals. While the Wildcat name had an air of excitement, the design of the base model was rather plain. It lacked the bold styling cues that defined many muscle cars of the era, leading to a forgettable aesthetic that didn't resonate with buyers seeking flair. The overall look of the base model was unremarkable, contributing to its anonymity in a market filled with eye-catching vehicles. It didn't stand out in showrooms or on the road, making it easy to overlook. The Wildcat faced stiff competition from rivals like the Pontiac, GTO, and Chevrolet Camaro, which offered both performance and style. These competitors attracted buyers who were eager for muscle and excitement, leaving the base Wildcat feeling lackluster by comparison. Given the name Wildcat, expectations for performance and excitement were high. However, the reality of the base model did not match these expectations, resulting in disappointment among potential buyers. While the Wildcat offered a spacious interior, the quality of materials and design felt more utilitarian than luxurious. This detracted from the overall experience and made it feel less appealing in the context of Buick's reputation for comfort and refinement. Compared to other cars in the market, the base Wildcat lacked many modern features that were becoming standard in the mid-1960s. This left it feeling outdated and less desirable among buyers looking for contemporary conveniences. The combination of uninspired performance and styling led to a lukewarm reception for the base model Wildcat. As muscle car enthusiasts gravitated toward more dynamic options, sales figures reflected the model's struggles in a competitive landscape. Ultimately, the base model Wildcat became one of Buick's less memorable offerings from the 1960s. Its failure to deliver on the promise of the Wildcat name contributed to its obscurity in the brand's history. Spacious interior, classic Buick comfort, underpowered engine, bland styling, lack of competitive edge, and basic interior features. The 1966 Buick Wildcat base model exemplifies how a car can fall short of its branding and market potential when it fails to deliver the performance and excitement expected by consumers. As a result, it remains a largely forgotten entry in the muscle car era, overshadowed by more dynamic and memorable competitors. Number 1. The 1961 Plymouth Belvedere was part of Plymouth's mid-range offering during a time when American automotive design was rapidly evolving. Positioned as a full-size car, the Belvedere struggled to keep pace with the competition, both in terms of performance and styling. The Belvedere's design was marked by its bulkiness. With a boxy silhouette, broad fenders, and a large front grille, the car lacked the sleek lines that were becoming popular among consumers. Its rear end featured modest tail fins, which paled in comparison to the more dramatic designs of its competitors. While it offered various color options, the overall aesthetic didn't stand out, making it forgettable in a decade known for vibrant and bold automotive designs. The Belvedere came with a base 225 cubic inch slant-six engine, which produced only 145 horsepower. Optional V8s, including a 318 cubic inch engine, offered more power but still fell short of performance expectations, especially against competitors like the Chevrolet Impala or Ford Galaxy. The standard transmission was a 3-speed manual with an optional push-button automatic. While innovative, the automatic transmission was often criticized for its reliability and user experience. Due to its heavy weight and bulk, the Belvedere struggled with acceleration and handling. It felt cumbersome on the road, lacking the agility that consumers desired in the early 1960s. Interior features. The interior was spacious but plain. Basic materials and minimalistic design left it feeling utilitarian rather than luxurious or sporty. While it could comfortably seat passengers, it lacked the aesthetic appeal of rival models. The dashboard featured straightforward instrumentation that was functional but not visually exciting. It prioritized practicality over style, which was a missed opportunity given the consumer preference for more engaging interiors. The Belvedere faced stiff competition from the likes of the Ford Falcon, Chevrolet Nova, and Pontiac Tempest. These competitors offered better styling, performance, and innovative features that drew buyers' attention. By the early 1960s, consumer preferences were shifting towards more compact, stylish, and performance-oriented vehicles. The bulky design and underwhelming performance of the Belvedere did not align with these changing tastes. The Belvedere's sales were disappointing, and it struggled to establish a strong market presence. Despite some efforts to revamp its image, it failed to capture the excitement that was sweeping through the industry. While it may not have become an icon like other models from its era, the Belvedere remains part of automotive history, symbolizing the challenges faced by manufacturers in adapting to rapidly changing consumer preferences. Today, the 1961 Plymouth Belvedere is often overlooked by collectors, but it has a niche following among enthusiasts who appreciate classic cars from this transitional period. The 1961 Plymouth Belvedere exemplifies the struggles faced by traditional full-size sedans in a market increasingly favoring innovation, performance, and stylish designs. While it provided a roomy interior and solid build quality, its bulky design and lack of engaging performance rendered it a less desirable option in a competitive landscape. As a result, it remains a reminder of a bygone era in American automotive history.